There's an element of risk with Amazon that I didn't quite realise until the YouMove interview. I did that and I thought, shit. I went into Amazon with the concept of I'm happy to make £2,000 a month profit, cover my bills and then work on other businesses. That was always my main goal with Amazon FBA. Yeah, but then, you see the profits and you're like, oh, I got to £2,000 really quickly. And actually, £2,000 was one of those goals I hit within like a few months. Hello and welcome to another driving vlog. Sorry it's been so long since my last one. I kind of only really do these when I go on a long drive, and I've not done a long drive for 3 weeks now. Thank you for joining me though, I do appreciate it. For those of you that already watch me sort of every time I do one of these, welcome back. For anyone new here, my name's Simon. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller now. So I've hit over that £1 million in sales, which is kind of crazy really. Done over 100K this month already. In December, obviously it's a special month to be fair. Yeah, I sell it on Amazon, guys. So I'm an Amazon seller, and I just do these kind of like vlogs where I talk about what's been going on in the past couple of weeks or whatever, with Amazon, things like that. So yeah, what's been going on with me then? Man, December has been crazy. Oh, apparently we're coming up to a car that has its lights on, so always got to be aware. Yeah, guys, I'm on like 18K profit so far this month in December. We are on the 15th of December right now. So that's over £1,000 a month. I had my best day ever. Like £3,600 profit in one day. Freaking insane. Yeah, just absolutely crazy. December's just going nuts, and yeah, cannot be happier really. Well, I can be happier, I'll be honest actually. There's a few caveats to that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, overall in terms of just sales and things like that, I went very deep at Christmas. I had about £250,000 worth of stock in Amazon, and it's paying off. So, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a few small issues. I do have quite a lot of stock of some items that if I sold them right now, I would take an L on them. So one thing I did notice this year, there was quite a few big sellers who jumped onto some of the listings I'm on, and obviously they bought the items much cheaper than I did because they're selling them for either way less than me or like even for a loss potentially for what I'm selling, versus my cost basis. So that's kind of crazy really. And these big sellers are coming, I don't know, a lot of them haven't been that intelligent really. There was a great listing which was selling for, let me remember my prices exactly. Yeah, I think it was like $34.95. I was selling all day at $34.95. I actually sold out really early on in like end of November, early December. I actually was able to restock another sort of 300 unit, and I was like, cool, it'd be really awesome. I was making decent profit on it. And then some seller, a huge seller, came in and literally dropped the price by £8. Just literally came in, no penny pinching, £8 cheaper. So they must have had a ridiculous amount of stock potentially they wanted to clear. I'm not sure, but they obviously got that way cheaper than I did. I'm not able to sell, if I was to sell that now for that price, I'd be losing, I think, £2 a unit. So I've got to factor some stuff in like that a little bit, that maybe I have to take some L's on some items at some point, or be stuck onto some stock, stuck with some stock for a little while. But overall though, pretty happy with how it's gone. The stuff that I have sold, I've made good money. Still got a decent amount of like stock in Amazon to be fair, which is kind of crazy. So I think last time I looked like 177,000 or something, because I've had more stuff going in. So yeah, I don't know, it's hard to keep track of exactly what I've got in Amazon really. But yeah, in terms of the past like few days, like I say, yesterday was 2,500 profit. The day before that was 3,600 profit. Today, last time I looked, I was on about 400 profit, I think it was, for the day so far. I'm not gonna hit those £2,000 days again, I don't think. That was kind of like, I sold most of my like really good stock of those 2 days, like particular items I had, and they kind of all sold in the span of like two days. I've got some sort of stock now, but yeah, it was good anyway. So cool. So what else has been going on then? So I had my YouMove interview. For those who don't know, YouMove was selling fake, not YouMove, there were some Chinese sellers selling fake items. Amazon got very upset with all the sellers on those listings, including me, even though I was selling real ones, and they were demanding, that we do like video interviews. Essentially, we got bundled in with all these Chinese sellers. So, I did my interview actually. I missed the first one, which is really not good. Did my second one, and it was actually, for me, it was pretty good. It was just a 15-minute sort of, very basic questions and showing my ID and things like that. It seemed like it went okay. I've not heard anything since. People have not heard a lot of things, and they did their interview like a week before mine. So that's a bit annoying. That's one thing that's kind of hanging over my head a little bit, is just waiting for this YouMove stuff to get past. And this kind of brings me on to my kind of next topic. I guess it's a mistake. I've actually filmed this twice already, okay? But I don't want to be too negative about this, but there's an element of risk with Amazon that I didn't quite realise until the YouMove interview. I did that and I thought, shit. There's an element of risk with Amazon that I didn't quite anticipate. Having gone fully deep into Amazon, so I literally put every penny into Amazon Q4. I know how big Q4 can be, so I literally put all my money into it. Like it says about 250,000. There's probably a bit more actually, to be fair. It's very hard to know exactly because it's not like I had all the stock in there all at once. But I went very deep in Q4, and which was my plan. My plan was to go deep because I know the opportunity is crazy. You saw the £3,600 day, insane. £2,500 day profit, insane. But there was an element of risk that I didn't quite appreciate in that having all that money in Amazon, because I basically put everything in. My bank balance right now, my personal bank balance is like zero. So that was, and with the whole YouMove situation, it just occurred to me that shit, if I ever for whatever reason get banned or whatever, if this YouMove thing goes sideways, and it shouldn't do, everything should be fine. But there's always that element of risk, and I guess I didn't quite anticipate that element of risk in terms of I went very deep and very aggressive on this Q4. So next year, I'll talk about more of my goals for next year, to be fair, in a few minutes. But I think I'm going to, and I think Amazon is such a great opportunity. Look at the wealth that I've built from it. It's kind of insane. I've done over £1 million in sales now. Just insane, insane. I've made crazy profits. Not as crazy as you might think actually, but I've done well from it. I've got some expenses and things like that. Obviously you have to factor in. But it's done pretty well overall. And I think it is a great wealth builder. Amazon, I think you can make a lot of money on there, and I think it's a great business. But at the same time, there's always upsides and downsides to everything. And the downside, I think, really is, it's always been the thing that kind of put me off going into Amazon in the first place. And then I kind of swept it aside a little bit, and now it's coming back in again, is that you are very beholden to Amazon. And yes, you might do everything above board and perfect, but essentially your fate is in the hands of a virtual assistant in a third world country who does these evaluations and things like that on your account. So if they are having a bad day, or oftentimes, if anyone who's sold on Amazon, you know what it's like to deal with Amazon. Even the most basic tasks with them can be a nightmare. They ask you to submit a document, you submit it, and they say you've not submitted it, and you're like, it's there. It's just stupid little things like that. Or there's a lot of stuff that's not that great about Amazon. It's Amazon itself, I guess. So it's just understanding those risks of Amazon. There's a positive and negative, and it is a fantastic way to build a business. I think it's a business that you can make a lot of money in, like I said, but I can see why people get to a point where they end up leaving Amazon. And I'm not saying I'm at that point now, but I'm definitely thinking more about the diversification outside of Amazon. There's a risk tolerance that I have, and that risk tolerance right now is around 100 to 150K of money into Amazon. Any more than that, and I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. So next year, I am no longer going to be, and what I've been doing from day one essentially I've been investing everything into Amazon, and any kind of profits I had have been reinvested. I've been, aggressively building my business non-stop, not taking any profits out really at all, and just aggressively growing. Well, next year that's going to change. I'm going to be this is the plan anyway, who knows what actually happened. I'm very aggressive in business like this. But yeah, next year I think I'm going to take a decent amount of money out of the business, and to have a risk tolerance of 100 to 150K, and just be happy with what I make from that money. And then any money I do make, I will probably just keep 50% in the business and take 50% out. Something along those lines I think is where I'm going to go. Now this obviously depends on how much money I make outside of Amazon, obviously through social media, affiliates, things like that, which right now is enough to pay my bills basically, which is very nice to be fair after a year's work. Kind of crazy really. So yeah, I can't knock that at all, but it's not the same level as Amazon. But yeah, that's kind of like where I am right now, where I'm thinking in 2025 with Amazon. I would love to be, and this is the problem with Amazon, it sucks you in. For me anyway, it's like, because I went into Amazon with the concept of I'm happy to make £2,000 a month profit, cover my bills, and then work on other businesses. That was always my main goal with Amazon FBA. Yeah, but then you see the profits, and you're like, oh, I got to £2,000 really quickly. And actually, £2,000 was one of those goals I hit within like a few months. Essentially, I was like, wow, I'm hitting £2,000 a month profit already. It was quite an easy one for me to hit. Everyone has their levels they get stuck at. For me, £2,000 was fine. Then I was like, well, if I can do 2,000, why can't I do 4,000? And why can't I do 6,000, 8,000? You know, or keep doubling up. So I got sucked in into Amazon, and because it was not easy, but because it's relatively easy, let's just say, to make that kind of money, I was like, well, why not I just keep doubling down, keep pushing this business as far as I can take it. Yeah, that's where it kind of like sucked me in a little bit. So my plan kind of went out the window. Now, whether my plan for next year is going to go out the window as well, I don't know. Because, you know, just to give you an example, guys, you know, £250,000 estimated in Amazon for Q4. I'm on 17 or 18,000. I think it's 17,000 this month so far. I should make £20,000 minimum this month. Let's just say I'm going to make £20,000. No, it should be more than that. Let's just say 20,000 though. Ideally it should be 25, but you know, if I can make, let's say £20,000 December on 250, well, what if I've got $500,000 next year? If I can build up $500,000 by December next year, that's maybe a bit of an exaggeration of what I could actually make, but just to give you an example, if I can turn 250 into 20 in 1 month, then maybe I can turn 500 into 40 next month, and obviously £20,000 a month profit is insane. Don't get me wrong, guys, like that's crazy. But 40 is even better, you know. Yeah, so you know that's the thing where I kind of get like sucked into these things where I just want to keep doubling down and doubling down and doubling down. It doesn't take too many of these double downs until you get to serious money. And like I say, £20,000 profit a month is very serious money. But in the Amazon world, it's relatively like, you know, normal, I guess. Not normal, but you know, quite a few people out there I know do 20,000 a month. Not too many people I know do 40. I think I know one guy who does just shy of 40 a month. So yeah, just think, well, if I could just keep going, maybe doubling down a little bit more, then I can get to those kind of insane levels. Now, one thing you're also going to realize as well is, unfortunately, things don't necessarily scale up that much. When you've got, say, £1 million versus 250,000, doesn't mean you're going to make twice as much money. It tends to be when you buy stuff more in bulk, which is what you're going to have to do when you're spending £500,000, the margins kind of go down. So whether it actually translates to 40,000, maybe not, maybe more like 35 or 30, but still, obviously, it's kind of crazy money, isn't it? So as someone who wants to build up wealth and have a comfortable life and nice-ish things, you know, this is very appealing to me. But at the same time, you need to balance the risk elements as well. And yeah, you know, but yeah, I want to be wealthy. That's definitely one of my major goals in life. Maybe I'm overly focused. I know I've got some friends who think I'm definitely too focused on money and not focused on other things. I think that's a fair argument, to be fair, at times. Yeah, but I just want to have the money so I'm comfortable, essentially, if that makes sense, you know, so I don't have to worry about money when I'm older, and I can live a nice life and kind of do what I want, really. And again, I've talked about this before, but money is essentially brings freedom, you know, to choose. That's pretty much what you get. So you get to choose what you want to do on your daily basis, where you want to go on holiday, what you want to do, whether you want to spend, you know, 9 months or 12 months a year abroad. You know, money helps you with that, or whatever you want to do, really. Essentially, that's what money buys you, is choice, pretty much. So, and there's obviously, you know, things I want to buy. You know, I want to get a nice car at some point. I want to get a nice house, have enough money saved up in like investment funds or in businesses that will pay me a nice amount of money. I'm relatively frugal generally, you know, I don't need a lot to live off. I live in a very modest 2-bedroom apartment right now. You know, I could get a house, but you know, I live in this because it's very cheap to live in. But at some point I do want to get a house, and yeah. So anyway, that's, yeah, going on a bit of a tangent there, but those are kind of like, I guess, my motivations behind this thing. But also, I like building businesses. Like, I love the fact that I've built up this Amazon FBA business. And going on to my plans in 2025, I love the building up of FBA Mogul, the brand, and things like that. And I'm still learning how to do that. I'm not doing that great a job, really. I mean, I'm doing good, but I'm not doing that great, you know. It's amazing how much it's grown in the past year, but I could be really working harder on the YouTube, the Discord, community, the just overall brand. And yeah, so there's definitely ways I could be improving that, which is what my goal is next year. So next year, as well as doing Amazon FBA and maybe scaling that back a little bit, I'm going to be doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on FBA Mogul brand. I want to be putting out consistent content. I want to be putting out, why is this person flashing, eh? I've got the full headlights on. I don't know what this person's doing. They've been driving erratically behind me the entire time. ridiculous BMW, whatever it is. I don't think she knows she's got high beams on. Anyway, so yeah, next year really quadrupling down on Amazon FBA Mogul. Sorry, I'm losing train of thought there. FBA Mogul, the brand, all that kind of stuff, building the courses and education around Amazon FBA, helping people get into Amazon. That is going to be my major goal next year. My brother is doing some kind of similar-ish things around Amazon FBA as well, so there might be some combination there going on between us, which would be really amazing. But yeah, I mean, FBA Mogul's hit like 910 members so far, so I was hoping to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, but I've been slacking off a little bit for the past month or so with the social media postings and stuff, and it kind of hurts the membership. So, you know, and if you guys want to join, by the way, it's a free community. Link is in the description. I'm giving away a MacBook actually on the 18th, so in 3 days' time, a MacBook Air is going out to a lucky winner. So that'll be interesting to see who wins that. Yeah, it's been going well. Yeah, I'm very happy with the way things have gone, but I want to really double down on that. And like I say, it's not just about creating wealth and making money. It's I hate to say this. I sound like such a douche for saying this, but I don't know, you kind of get like, many people will be like thrilled with £20,000 a month, and I am as well. Firstly, I've got bigger aspirations, but secondly, and I really hate the fact that I'm about to say this because I feel like I'm a douche, but it kind of becomes like a bit of I'm not as excited about it as I thought I would be, because I've done £20,000 in other months previously, and you know, and yeah, it's very good. Just that excitement level of hitting that amount of money. Everyone has their kind of like, the first time you hit £20,000, you're ecstatic. Obviously the third, fourth, fifth time you do it, it's not so exciting, if that makes sense. So it sounds a bit douchebaggy, but anyway, yeah, I want to get to that next level. I mean, my ultimate goal, again, I've mentioned this before in the past, is I want to get to £100,000 a month. That is my ultimate goal. And that's obviously going to be from multiple businesses, but get to that point. I mean, 83,333, which is £1 million a year, that's kind of where I'd like to get, but 100K, let's round out to 100, let's say. So it'd be kind of insane, really. Now, whether I'll hit that, I don't know, but yeah, it should do, hopefully, at some point. Yeah, it's kind of interesting anyway. So those are kind of my main goals, really, for next year from a business point of view. I'm also thinking about, although if I'm going to be doubling, tripling down on, you know, on FBA Mogul, I won't be able to do this, but there's other YouTube ideas I have as well. And again, it depends how much time I've got, how much time I end up, you know, whether I get all the stuff done I want in FBA Mogul. But I definitely have got a few more YouTube channel ideas I want to do as well. So private label brand, you know, my younger brother keeps mentioning things to me around that. You know, I can definitely see, you know, I don't know, I tried it once already and I wasn't that interested in it, to be honest. But it just didn't excite me at all, really. This wasn't really, I need to be interested in the business. And I think probably one reason why I'm not that excited by doing private label is because I'm already so deep into Amazon as it is, so excited by it. If I end up winding down like a wholesale, and by the way, I'm going more into wholesale next year, definitely. But if I end up winding that down and then moving more into then private label, maybe that'd be fine. And transitioning the entire business over, cool, I can see that. But just in terms of me doing both, OA, wholesale and private label, the idea of that does not appeal to me at all. And yeah, that just seems like too risky, I guess. I want to try and get the business built outside of a very interesting point. So one of the things I actually wanted to do, as I said from the beginning, was make £2,000 a month from Amazon, and then I wanted to build software because I was a software engineer. That's my background. I actually built Amaz Seller, which I'm probably going to wind down, to be fair. Wanted to build software. I've got like 5 or 10 different software ideas, for some of them large, some of them smaller. They could be just useful tools in the Discord community. Just about maybe doing some sort of crowdfunding kind of idea. Because if I wanted to go down the software route again, I probably wouldn't be doing it myself in terms of coding. I would be hiring engineers, you know, making a separate company, hiring engineers, and, you know, doing it properly, I guess. And, you know, obviously software engineers are very expensive. So yeah, the idea of maybe crowdfunding this kind of thing would be interesting, where giving people the opportunity in the group to maybe invest in a software business could be interesting. And obviously we give equity away. It'd be done properly through a company like Cedars, which is now called Republic, I think now, actually. and which is like a proper investment platform for businesses. Just an idea. Let me know what you guys think about that. Was something you'd be interested in? Would, like, if we could be kind of an interesting idea, starting a software business, hiring 2 or 3 engineers, and maybe getting an office somewhere, or it could work remote, I guess, and just getting a software business going and start to build all these business software. If that's something that interests you, let me know. Give you guys an opportunity to have like equity in an actual like business, I suppose, that's like with software business. It's just an idea. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but I don't know. It's, both me and my younger brother, between us, we've got about, I guess, 17, 18 years of software engineering experience. So, we're in a good place to build this thing. I basically got to the point of where I was like senior in my company, and while I wasn't necessarily the most technical person, I was very good at maybe the managing side of it, and also maybe the what's the word, like, how do I describe how my software engineering career went? I was never the most technical person. I was a pragmatist. That's why they liked me in the business, because I never got bogged down in all the technical details and trying to overcomplicate things. I always understood the business mindset of building features and software. So I was always saying, I always had the mindset of like, what's the minimum we can do to deliver this, which I think worked very well actually. Whereas you sometimes get some software engineers who all they do is they care about the tech, and they don't care necessarily about the business sense of it, which obviously I did. So, some software engineers, they might be very excellent engineers, but they're terrible business people, whereas I was a really good mix, I'll be honest. So I wasn't necessarily the best technical person, but I had a very good mix of business and technicality. So I could build stuff, it wouldn't be like necessarily overly complicated, which is actually a very good thing, to be fair. So, and then obviously my brother's a senior, he was a senior software engineer as well. So, worked for big companies like credit card payment companies and things like that. So we've got some good experience behind us there, and that could be kind of an interesting idea, and might be the next chapter potentially is building the software. But I'd kind of like to do the journey with everyone, really, if we can do some sort of a crowdfunding thing. Now, obviously, this is a de-risking from my point of view. If let's say it needs £400,000, initial capital. Maybe I could put 100 in, my brother could put 100 in, and then everyone else could put 200 in through the old so we put 200 in, you guys put 200 in through the crowdfunding thing. So it's a kind of a de-risk from our point of view, but at the same time you get equity. Another great thing as well, for those of you that don't know or do know, there's some fantastic schemes available that the government give you called EIS and SEIS. They're kind of crazy schemes where if you invest money, then you get a tax break. So let's say you invested £100,000, not saying you would do, you get a 30% tax break on that. So technically you've only invested £70,000. They've even got a really killer one called SEIS where you get 50% back on your taxes. So if you invested £100,000, you get 50% of that back in taxes, which means actually you invested £100,000, but it's only cost you £50,000. So it's kind of crazy, really. And anyway, so it's an interesting idea for next year. I need to think about. It's just kind of one of those interesting things. There's so many opportunities out there, and again, this is why I love business so much, and why I wish I'd quit my job sooner and got into business sooner, is because you realise all these opportunities that are available. Essentially, like, the world is your oyster, and it's kind of crazy, really, seeing that and I say this before, this kind of phrase, like, you can. What's the I can't remember the phrase now. God, I keep coming up with these little phrases. It's like the pathways are paved with gold, right? But there's like 7 different pathways you can take, and they're all paved with gold. Terrible saying, but you get the idea. Basically, doesn't matter what route you take. I just see gold everywhere. That's what I see. So just choosing what route you want to take, what route interests you, what route you think is going to have the best, benefit, or whatever. And I'll be honest as well, one reason I really like the software idea, and it could be a good one for you guys as well if you want to invest in it, is that, and I'm not necessarily going to do this, but it's an idea I'm floating in my head, is you can't sell your Amazon business. If I build up FBA Mogul, I can't really sell that either. But if we build up a software business, that is an asset that can be sold. If that has a decent profit, turnover, whatever, that's a business that can be sold, and you can have an exit. And another great thing as well, which I also didn't mention, these businesses as well, if you set them up correctly, you can have entrepreneurial tax relief on them as well, which means you only pay 10% tax on any profits you make up to a certain amount. So like I think it's £1 million or something like that. So if you make £1 million, you only have to pay 100k in taxes, versus if you did it through capital gains, or which is like 24% or whatever. So there's all these different schemes available for startups and stuff, which is kind of interesting. So the point is, you can obviously, that's a sellable business. Business can be built up and then sold. It's a very interesting idea. I really like this idea. The more I think about it, the more I like it. And whether I go down the crowdfunding route or not, it's an idea that I think I definitely will be getting into. However, the first things first is, I want to get my course finished, should be finished by the end of the year, get that released, and start getting new people into Amazon and things like that, and helping people with Amazon. So that's my first goal, is doing that really. So yeah, kind of interesting. I guess my goals for next year are kind of all over the place really. Like I say, sometimes there's lots of different pathways to choose, and it's exciting. It's also, you can't do it all at once as well. You need to be one thing at a time. But yeah, this is why, and again, Amazon's such a great gateway business. It's such a great gateway business. It's insane, because it really gets your entrepreneurial juices flowing. Once you start going full time and you do Amazon FBA and you scale it up, you can start using that money and putting it into other things and seeing the potential. It's just very exciting, and I think it's a fantastic way to get into business. And yeah, it's just I don't know. Yeah, I think that's why I promote Amazon so much. It's been kind of life-changing for me, to be honest. And I just want to kind of share that with everyone really, because, and I say, I don't think necessarily I'm going to do Amazon forever. It may be that in a year or two I actually might wind it down and focus more on the education side and the software side. You can't do everything, like I said, but obviously for right now, I think it's a great wealth builder, and it's also a great business for everyone to get into. Like I say, you don't have to be someone who does it forever. In fact, it's very common actually to find people that only do it for 3, 4, 5 years, make a decent amount of money, and then end up moving that money into other businesses, starting another business. That's so common, it's kind of crazy. You do kind of get people though that carry on doing it, like Flipping at 30. Another great guy called Tom G. His sort of a Twitter name, not Twitter name, well it might be. His Discord name is Flipping at 30. He's been doing this now for I think 8 or 9 years, and someone's gone off the road there, taking some branches with them. Been doing it for 8 or 9 years, and now makes 40,000 a month or whatever in November. Kind of crazy really. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I think it is honestly such a great gateway business. It's like the gateway drug to business. And yeah, I'm just so bullish about Amazon. Obviously, even with all the freaking annoyances of Amazon, I'm still very bullish about Amazon, to be fair. So yeah, which is why I definitely recommend everyone kind of if you're into business, you want to start a business, you're not sure what to do, Amazon's a great one, with its upsides and downsides. And yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you guys know I'm super into it. Yeah, what else we got to talk about then? Don't know really. Probably coming to an end, I guess. That's pretty much it. I guess the one troubles I'm having right now, as I mentioned before, I'm pretty frugal generally. I do have the occasional extravagant purchase. Like I bought myself this nice watch as a treat to myself for being successful in business. I've always wanted this watch. For over 10 years I've wanted this watch, or a Navitimer. What was I going to say? Yeah, my next kind of pull right now is I really want to get a fast car. It is such a waste of money. It's so stupid. It is one of the dumbest purchases you can make. But I keep getting drawn to buying a nice car, so that may be something I do next year. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, it's just one of those things right now that I'm fighting with. It's just buying a really expensive, nice car, like an Aston Martin or something. So yeah, it's so stupid. I should definitely wait. And yeah, because again, one thing I guess you realise as well is that everything you do in life generally is has an exponential growth curve to it. Maybe not everything, but in Amazon in business, I feel like just the longer you can hold off spending your money and keep reinvesting it, the better off you've been. I'm not saying it's actually going to be exponential, but I've built my, I guess, levels of wealth, what you would call it, my net worth up quite nicely over the past sort of 2.5 years, 3 years maybe. If I just keep going for another 3 years, I could turn maybe, let's say I've got 250k in net worth. I could turn that into 500, 750, maybe even $1 million. So if I can just delay, however I go and spend 100 grand on a freaking Aston Martin, that's going to really dent my progress, if that makes sense. So sometimes you've got to have this like delayed gratification on buying these things, but I'm not going to lie, right now I'm definitely like feeling like I want to buy like a nice car. Now realistically I'll probably buy myself a nice-ish car around the sort of 30k mark, but yeah, rather than getting like a 90 grand Aston Martin. But yeah, it's kind of like it's one of those pools that I'm having right now that I'm having to fight, is I do want to get a nice car and things like that. Next big purchase for me is going to be a house probably. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's just it's something I'm struggling with right now. Maybe you guys kind of feel my pain a little bit really on this one. I just really want a nice car for some reason. So anyway, we'll probably wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for listening and watching. Again, if you want to join my Discord community, link for that's in the description. You've got 3 days, you know, to the 18th of December if you want to enter that free MacBook giveaway. I'm giving away that MacBook Air worth like £1,000. It was £1,000 when I bought it 3 months ago. And yeah, come and join the community, come hang out. If you're an existing Amazon seller, if you're a new seller, it doesn't matter, come and join. It's a really nice community. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.